What is up, guys? Mike and Dan back here today. Dan, say what's up.
Yo, what's up, everybody?
And today we are unveiling the start of a brand new series called Saving Franchises. And in this series, Dan let them know what's going to be happening.
So basically, we're going to be giving, I guess you could say, dream scenarios that teams that are in the dust need to make to get into the playoffs. And obviously, some teams don't need trades because, like the Saints, the Buccaneers, I guess you can say, they're good teams. So, what are we going to do about them? Mike will answer that question.
So, some teams don't need saving is what Dan's trying to say. And for those teams, we're just going to make them that much better. They already have ammunition for trade, so it'll be that much easier. Today is not the case for that. Today we are doing the New York Giants, who definitely, it was tough coming up with some trades, in my opinion. What about you, Dan? What was your experience trying to get some trades done?
Definitely, I thought it was a pretty good thing that I came up with, that it helps the team in the way that it needs to be helped. I think it'll fit in perfectly. It was pretty easy for me, actually. But we're definitely starting with the Giants because their division is so bad, every team needs help.
All right, so the first thing we're going to do is talk about the Giants' holes on their roster and what we're aiming for in these trades. First hole that I'll point out, Dan, is their offensive line, but they kind of addressed that in the draft, so no longer a hole. I think their wide receiver core is pretty solid, coming back from injury, and Golden Tate unsuspended. So I think they have a good receiving core, good tight end, Evan Ingram. Quarterback, whatever, Daniel Jones, he's manageable. Saquon, good running back. Offense, not many holes. What about you?
Yeah, so I agree with you. You'd think that this team would be good, but it's not because of their defense.
And why is that? That's right.
Their defense, of course. This team's offense, if you look at it by book, you look at it by names on paper, you're like, why is this team so bad? It's because of their defense, and that's the problem with this team. It's the worst defense in the NFL.
All right, time to unveil the first trade. Me and Dan both became GMs for the New York Giants. We both conducted 2 trades each. And this is separate, so you'll see both of our teams individualized, but both of our teams accumulate and they stack on top of each other. Dan, unveil your first trade.
So my first trade, it kind of screws over the Giants in one aspect of their offense, but it will pay out in the future.
Oh, don't tell me.
So, yes, I did take their first-round draft pick, Andrew Thomas, and with a combination of him and Jabril Peppers, a safety for the Giants, I'm going to trade both of them to the Jets for Jamal Adams, a really good safety. On the same stadium, same city, basically good for him. And Jamal Adams is one of the best players in the NFL. It's definitely going to benefit this defense. And I have another trade. I'll go over that later. But both of these trades are going to happen at the same time. So that's all I got to say.
Jeez, Jamal Adams, he ain't going to be happy. He's playing for a team that's not the Kansas City Chiefs, so GG.
Yeah, that's true, but
all
helps
right,
out the Giants.
My first trade, I'm trading Blake Martinez and Golden Tate. Golden Tate, I think he's a really good wide receiver in my opinion, for Ryan Kerrigan. So the Redskins are already loaded up front with former first-rounders along the defensive line. They have Chase Young. He's now added to the mix after being selected number 2 overall. And, while if I was the Redskins, I would be pretty happy heading into the season with Chase Young, Ryan Kerrigan, and 2019 first-round pick Montez Sweat, one of the, forming one of the best defensive lines in the NFL. Ryan Kerrigan, he's expendable, and he's enticing for teams like the Giants that need pass rushers post-draft. Kerrigan did take a step back in 2019 too, which is going to help the Giants get him for this price. And he's still a capable pass rusher, 60 pressures last year, pretty solid year. Blake Martinez, why would the Redskins want him? They obviously got Chase Young and Ronald Darby helping that defense out. Blake Martinez led the NFL through the first 7 weeks of 2019 in terms of tackles, and Golden Tate, Dan, besides Terry McLaurin, name good Redskins wide receivers.
I don't know how.
Exactly. They're going to need Golden Tate. I think this trade is going to help the Giants' defense out a lot, and I think that they can handle the loss of Golden Tate because they got Darius Slayton, Sterling Shepard, and Evan Ingram in the back pocket. So there's my first trade.
So one thing I want to mention before we continue is that both of our trades are different scenarios. So Don't think that this is one big trade. These are different scenarios, all right? So, my next trade that's being added with my other trade for Andrew Thomas and Jabril Peppers for Jamal Adams, my next trade, it might be a little weird to see, but I have the Giants trading with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Saquon Barkley goes to the Steelers for TJ Watt. You're like,
Bro.
whoa, what the heck?
That the
TJ
Steelers would be happy about that.
I don't think so. So, I obviously I don't think this trade is, reasonable or realistic. But by book, if you look at it on paper, this actually would benefit both sides of the trade. The Pittsburgh Steelers running back scenario, it's not looking too good right now, and Saquon's.
Raw.
It's not. I'm not gonna lie.
Benefit both sides. Who's going to be the Giants' running back? Deion Lewis?
They can draft another running back, but the thing is that TJ Watt is such a good player that it balances out the trade. The Steelers don't even need to give the Giants a running back in return. So it definitely helps out the Pittsburgh running game, which I think is the biggest flaw on their team. And I guess you can say Bud Dupree will fill in that gap for TJ Watt leaving, because Bud Dupree's already emerging. And for the Giants, you already know, any defensive talent will help them. Adding Jamal Adams and TJ Watt to your defense, it's already looking 10 times better.
All right, so that's a pretty solid trade. Unrealistic because TJ Watt's a rookie and
Rookie.
Saquon Barkley's a beast. But my trade, so for my second trade, Nate Solder, I don't know why the Giants made him the highest paid offensive lineman. They made a big mistake there in free agency, so they're feeling that. And he took a step back in 2019, so the Giants want to get rid of him. So I was like, how do I get rid of Nate Solder and upgrade the defense? So I looked to the Los Angeles Chargers because they have a lot of defensive talent, Derwin James, Chris Harris Jr., and then I was like, Dan, is this a fair trade? And it was like Saquon for the entire defense of the Chargers, and he said no. So, okay, fair enough. So I looked to the Detroit Lions, and I found a diamond gem in the deep, Desmond Trufant. So obviously the Lions just signed Desmond Trufant in free agency, $21 million deal for 2 years, and I am trading Nate Solder and James Bradbury for Desmond Trufant. So the Giants just drafted Andrew Thomas in the first round and Matt Pearl in the third round. So if Matt Pearl progresses quickly, they're not going to feel this loss at all. And Desmond Trufant, he's going to replace James Bradbury, and James Bradbury, worst cornerback I've ever seen in my life. He looks like a friggin' hippo when he tries guarding a good receiver. So Desmond Trufant definitely going to help out this team a lot.
All right. So
sum up your trades, Dan. That way we can look at the full roster.
All right, so basically, looking at the Giants' offense now, we got rid of their first-round draft pick, Andrew Thomas, which is going to hurt the offensive line, but that's addressable in the future. And in return, they got Jamal Adams on defense, and they traded away Jabril Peppers, their strong safety, their same position as Jamal Adams. So it's definitely an upgrade right there. And also, the Giants lost their best player, Saquon Barkley. But in return, they got probably their best player in return, TJ Watt, one of the best players in the NFL. So it's a double positive, I guess you can say. The Giants' offense, it's already good, so that's why I'm getting rid of Saquon, but their defense is horrible, so that's why I made these defensive trades.
So if those two trades happen, what do you see the Giants' record being in 2019?
So I originally have the Giants going 2-14 because come on now. I bet their entire offense gets injured and then their defense is already trash, so 2-14. But if they get these defensive players, I could see TJ Watt and Jamal Adams changing this team around, maybe going around 8-8. I'm not even joking right there. Maybe 9-7.
All right, so just to sum up my trades, I traded Blake Martinez and Golden Tate for Ryan Kerrigan, and I traded Nate Solder and James Bradbury for Desmond Trufant. So I got two defensive players, just like you, defensive lineman and a cornerback. And I originally predicted the Giants to be 4 wins, 12 losses. Their 12 losses come to the hardest teams I've ever seen in my life. So if I do these trades, I'll give them a win against the Rams, so 5 wins. Give them a win against the Redskins, 6 wins. And there you go. The Giants 6-10 still. GG, hardest schedule I've ever seen in my entire life. Giants 6 wins, 10 losses with these trades. Dan says his got the team to 8 wins, 8 losses. But either way, franchise looking up after these trades. So let us know what team you guys want to see next for the saving franchises. We're probably going to stay in the NFC East, so pick between those 3 teams. Anything else to say there?
No, but thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the new series, and I hope it does well. Thanks for watching. Adios.
What is up, guys?